you're doing this sort of thing. But there you can kind of take your chosen talent any which way, and may not come across the way you thought it was going to.
So that was the final. That was the final 5 question, and then their final round is everyone gets the same question, and then the other 2 have to wear headphones.
Oh, and not hear it.
Yeah, and then you compare the answer. And I think that's how Miss Philippines won it.
Okay.
So, but that was about being Miss Universe.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to ask you that.
Did they also say the thing about "and I wish for world peace" or something?
Most. I mean, you can most of the answers did involve about including everyone in the world. And do you want to hear an answer to a particular question? Which one?
As in ones you've asked us?
Yeah. I've got the answers here.
What's the marijuana one?
Oh, that was a bit poor. That was Miss Philippines. That was a bit poor. So she said, "I'm for it being used for medical use, but not so for recreational use. Because I think if people will argue, then what about... if people will argue, then what about alcohol and cigarettes? Everything is good, but in moderation."
Alright.
Should be. Alright. So, they know what it is.
Yeah. What's that pageant where it's about bodybuilding? I thought that was called Mr. Universe.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So when we're talking about Miss Universe, are we talking about the bodybuilding version?
No.
Okay, so Mr. Universe is bodybuilding, Miss Universe isn't.
I have no idea about Mr. Universe.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what Arnold Schwarzenegger did.
Exactly.
Like the 70s.
Oh, right.
There's like some really good documentary about it, apparently.
But then they don't ask them questions. It's just your body, right?
Yeah, I think they give them directions. Like there's stuff like show us this pose, show us that pose, show us that pose. Okay, any pose that you want facing forwards, and you understand. So they get to choose.
I'd love at the end if they went, "Arnold, why is freedom of press important?"
He was the governor of California.
Exactly. He was able to ask those sort of questions.
No, but then he answered everything as the governor of California. He answered everything as, "He should be in Terminator 4. I'll be back next week."
It's true. That catchphrase every single time
when he was governor.
No,
this is my favourite Schwarzenegger story. So he was having like some budget dispute with the state congress or whatever, and he wrote a letter. Like someone wrote an open letter, like criticising his budget. He wrote a letter responding, also as an open letter. And then if you looked at it, you realised that every line was written so that it's what FUCKOFF, which is sending the guy to fuck off.
Well, do you think he did that himself, or he just gave someone a mandate? Right, a response.
Well, he denied it. He was like, "It's just a coincidence."
But did it make sense?
It all made sense. But he just chosen the first line of every sentence.
That's too great of a coincidence. That's too great of a coincidence.
You need a good team behind you.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Project-based work.
Yeah.
The bodybuilding pageant, the reason I bring that up is because the women's version, we'll find out its name later on. Bodybuilding, everyone can look however they want to look, but it got to the point where women were no longer looking archetypical feminine, as in that they'd worked out so much that they had massive biceps and massive shoulders, and they were more tending towards the same stature as the men's bodybuilders. So that they've brought in, I don't know if it's a different round or it's a whole nother competition, but one of them is about actually looking quite feminine and muscular, and one of them's like, knock yourself out, grow as many muscles as you want. Really? And I just found it interesting that even there, that they wanted to differentiate between how far a female bodybuilder should go, as in looking feminine and is the other one not feminine? But keeping to this typical.
What do they call it? Do you know?
Bodybuilding structure.
The one where they can just take as much drugs as they want.
I don't know if that was the subtext.
But isn't that why wrestling can't be called a sport now? Because they don't test anymore. Like they just
really?
I don't know, but I've
think
heard
they do
that.
test, because they keep on saying stuff like, you'll see a headline of someone has broken their wellness contract or something like that.
Oh, okay.
And that just basically means they've been taking drugs.
Yeah, but in wrestling, that means they can take a lot of drugs.
a lot
of drugs.
We had a high threshold.
I think I heard something about American football as well, that they their testing isn't that great. Like NFL.
Yeah.
But I don't want to say, just in case, it's not true. But
They're doing like for doping and stuff.
Yeah, and it was either wrestling or American football. I heard one of them were like you couldn't class it as a sport anymore because they just were so lax on drugs that you could just build yourself up to be as big as you want. Yeah, and it was just more like machines going against each other.
Yeah. Well, one of them. Wrestling, they don't even necessarily say it's a sport, do they? They say it's I can't remember the phrase, but they have entertainment in that phrase.
That's what I was entertainment.
Exactly. It's WWE, World Wrestling Entertainment Bureau, whatever they want to call it. But yeah, entertainment's stuck in there.
Yeah,
I don't think they necessarily count themselves as a sport either.
Okay.
Unless you want to go Greco wrestling.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
No.
Which is very much
well
different.
boring.
It's well boring.
No, that's in MMA, isn't it? You get that in MMA. Wrestling.
What, guys are wrestling in MMA?
Yeah, wrestling's part of it.
Ground grappling.
Yeah, when they go to the ground, that's wrestling.
Oh! I thought you meant someone was turning up and
with a mask on.
Their whole discipline, their whole discipline was Greco-Roman wrestling.
Right.
And they got this guy who does Muay Thai over here, just gonna get kneed in the face.
Now you've got to know it's a mix. It's a mix. But I thought I meant that there's like a proper wrestler, with a mask that comes on and goes, and it gets a chair.
Yeah,
that would be fun.
I'm sure there was a time when mixed martial arts was about separate disciplines fighting against each other.
It used to be.
Rather than I've learned all of these different aspects.
Well, it used to be quite a freak. In Japan, it was a bit of a freak show. I remember they used to have like things like sumos versus boxers.
Serious?
Yeah, and it was just like they love freak show. Like they had the Mayweather one recently, where it's like a boxer against a kickboxer.
Yeah.
So they love a freak show. They love like a big they love a big guy against a small guy. They love that. I've seen a few of them where it's just like someone who can take care of himself, but he's running around the ring. And there's a big sumo wrestler just going around
getting tired.
Because he's like, if he gets you,
it's over.
It's over, mate. Just get him tired and then slap him.
Alright, I was actually watching a video about scams and internet scams, and you get the typical what's the most popular scam that you guys have heard of on the internet?
The email.
That says what? Who's this email from?
Someone you know, Zack? I don't know.
He went there.
It felt like you were wanting me to go there.
I didn't want you to say it like that.
Right, okay. No, it's the isn't it usually I've got lots of money and I can give you some if you give me your bank details.
Exactly. Which is commonly known as the Nigerian prince scam.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, you'll definitely hear it referred to as that.
Prince.
As in, I'm a Nigerian prince and I've got some money that's tied up in this. I'm trying to leave the country to go to this place. If you help me out, I'll give you a big portion of that money. But in the meantime, we're going to need you to pay some bank transfer fees. Send us a couple £1,000. We'll send you a couple million in return. See you next week. And it goes something like that.
There's another one where they get your surname and then they'll go like, say your surname's Smith, and they'll go, unfortunately, Joanna Smith has died.
Yeah.
Your long lost cousin.
Yeah.
And she's left you a bit of money.
Yeah.
And we needed your bank details.
Exactly. And we'll send you all that money.
Yeah.
They probably ask for fees as well, as in some. What's the name of the person who deals with the will? The will. The executor of the will, some executation fees or something like that. But yeah, they all seem to follow the same pattern. But what I was interested in is that I was watching a video of this guy who kind of messes with the scammer, and he'll be in like some long communication, actually trying to figure out exactly how the newer scams are working, and then he will out the perpetrator. Yeah. And then sometimes the perpetrators they just like admit to it. And I think they are doing so many per day that admitting to a couple of them or admitting to a couple of marks isn't too bad too bad of an issue for them. But obviously, some of these internet scams, they've grown with the popularity of the internet. And I was just thinking back to some of the old school scams that used to be out and about on the street. So I don't know, have any of you been victim to
I heard
scams of any sorts?
I heard recently there was someone on the radio was telling it, and he said that, do you remember those guys that used to drive up to you and say, "Do you want a TV?"
Exactly, yeah.
And then this guy said, he was like, "That's such a good deal.
Yeah.
I'll get 3 of them." And he was a friend of the DJ, and he was saying like he's got enough bricks now to make his own wall.
To make his own wall. See, that scam is called the switcheroo, or I call it the switcheroo. It's called a pig and a poke. But yeah, can you explain how that scam works?
Oh, what? They show you the TV.
How do they end up with bricks? Yeah.
Yeah, they show you the TV.
Yeah.
And then they'll have to park somewhere, won't they?
Yeah.
And they'll turn you back, and then they'll just give you the other boxes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just full of bricks.
Yeah.
See, I've heard some variations on that.
And drive away quickly.
Yeah. I had a mate who was buying a laptop, and they showed him the laptop and turned it on and everything, and it was all working. And then he agreed to buy it. They shut the laptop, grabbed the charger out of the back seat, put it into a bag for him, and they must have just had some beautiful sleight of hand, because they passed the bag to him. He was happy with the transaction, went on his merry way, went home. There's 2 bottles of water. 2 bottles of water inside the bag that he thought was a laptop. And it is just that little second where you turn your eyes, or it drops underneath the car door window, and they just swap for another bag. And they just give you that, and the waiting is just about enough.
But that's still happening though. I was
still happening.
I was stuck for a laptop the other day. I'm like, what year was this? Yeah. Man? You got to update your standards.
Got to get on the internet.
Yeah.
It's still happening because I think people are just blinded by such a good deal, and that they feel they're about to really get something out of this. It kind of just takes over. They're just happily run along to the cash machine. And the scammer's just thinking, yeah, I've got another one. I've got another one.
There's an art to it.
Exactly, and you've got to have the gift of the gab, which is, they call them scams, but they also call them cons. And the word con comes from like a confidence trick. You've got the person's confidence, and then you just trick your way through whatever's going to happen. It's called a pig and a poke because in the olden days, pork, pig meat, or just pigs were like a luxury item. So you would tell someone that you would be selling them a pig, show it to them, put it into a burlap sack, and then pass it over. It's the same sleight of hand. By the time you get home, you know it's been squirming the whole way, but you open it, it's like a cat. And you're like, what is this? I don't know if you thought pigs meowed or if it was muffled. But yeah,
just a cat with some sellotape on it, so it
But from then, that kind of not paying attention to exactly what you're buying has been called a pick and a poke. So that's just one of those.
Have you ever been scammed, Fab?
Came close to it.
Yeah.
I realised halfway through I was being scammed.
Go on.
I remember I was in Istanbul. I was going to watch the football, obviously. But I was with my girlfriend. We were just walking across the bridge. And then some guy walking behind us, and we hear like a drop. No, I think we walk past him. He drops like just stuff. So we go to pick it up and to help him.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Thank you." He didn't speak very good English. Like, "Thank you. I'll clean your shoes for you." And we're like, "No, that's fine." And he just starts hassling us because basically and then we realise that's what he's doing. He's a shoe shiner, and he's just standing there, purposely dropping his stuff so people pick it up, so they get start a conversation. And he's like, "I'll clean your shoes for you," and you're like, "No." And then he just hassles you until you just agree to it and you pay him, sort of thing. We didn't because that's the halfway through, so it's not happened. But then really, it was a good hustle. He was getting loads of money.
I remember visiting you in Paris, Fabs, and this isn't a scam; it's more just criminals. But I remember getting out at a tube stop in Paris, and people were just looking
like scanning.
We're just
scanning
looking at our bags, but really obviously.
Yeah, it's really bait. Yeah.
Like really, with our girlfriends, just like looking at the bags, going, and you could see them like physically thinking, going, "Ooh, can I